you know, if you beat me home, it ain't nothing wrong with you having some food on the table or something. And oh, girls, nah, that's not how it works. Told my daughter, get out, or she gonna have her evicted and stuff. I was like, just come on home, come home.
You can't be.
I'm trying to talk to her coming home. Like I told her, I don't ever sweat. As long as dad got a house, you always got some place to stay. She 27, but she daddy baby. That's my baby.
So wait on.
Somebody said you gotta let him in. I think it's Kayla. Oh, she just. Oh, Ellie. It's Ellie. Are we live streaming?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He said it says waiting for host to let me in. You see her now? Huh? It says waiting for host to let you in.
Maybe tell her to log back out and log back in. I know if you sit in there for a long time, it might, just have her go out the email and then come back in.
Yeah, because I don't want to keep reaching too long and she just got off work.
Literally just got off, but she was trying to reschedule.
Craig, when they cut Jello, was like, no. Said he had a mess up ankle. Couldn't he say never practice. You can't make a team and don't practice.
Yeah, you can't. Definitely got to practice for sure.
Yeah, talk to your boy Craig. And now his dad gonna call us trash. What you Sadiq Bay was the truth.
That's how you cheese.
Then you're gonna listen to me. Okay, yeah, she showed it to me. It says the host is in another meeting in progress. Has another meeting in progress. Did you send her the wrong invite? Okay, now y'all making me hungry. Eating tacos. What you eat?
Some spaghetti and Texas toast.
Oh man, y'all killing me.
Man, you got that ground turkey or you doing that ground beef?
Ground
Ellie's?
beef.
You got to switch to that turkey. I think it's in the chat. Vince, send it back to him in the chat. Also,
What I'm looking for. Oh. And I was doing that intermittent dieting for a while. Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, we eat between 12 and 8.
I was about to die because I cut it down to 12 to 6. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a 12 to 6. And I was about to die.
No, I've been on that. That's one thing I have been consistent on. I just haven't been working out or eating the best. But I've been doing that for like almost a year now, just eating between 12 and 8.
It worked.
Yeah.
But you know, they say if you want to lose like a quick, like 10, 15 pounds, quit drinking pop.
I don't drink pop at all.
I wish I could. I'm down to like, I'm like one every other day.
I don't drink pop. I'm not a big sweets person. Only thing my downfall is chips. I love chips.
My downfall is real food.
Hey, well, don't come by my mama house when you come up to Detroit, because she always got some sort of pound cake, sweet potato pie, lemon meringue pie.
That's the time I eat sweets, when I get around the OGs, and I know they be through it. That's the only time you'll see me eat some sweets.
You sent it already, Craig?
Or is she in the wrong one? She's not in the, well, no, because you sent her that one, so never mind.
You sent it to Ellie? Swanee. She's at Swanee.
So do we need to all leave and come back in? Huh?
This is everything.
Oh, she said he sent it. She got it. Craig, when I get up there, we're going to Pizza Poplars. Reese.
We
doing Pizza Poplars when I get up there?
Yeah, we can definitely make that stop. You come next week?
Yeah, we fly in Tuesday.
Okay.
You gotta get to that Buddies though. That Bud does where it's at.
That what?
Buddies. You ever had Buddies pizza before?
Yeah.
Gotta stop at Buddies.
Is it 10? It might be TREANE 10. Huh, Craig? Did you send it to? Yeah. Was it? No, 10. Not L, 10. I think it's 10. No, it looks like L. Yeah, yeah. Said she still ain't got it.
Oh, right quick, I'll try.
If not, eating like everybody else.
And I just sent it to her too. Mm-hmm.
Why you set up in there? I ain't gonna look in the background. Why? These are gonna be teenagers. What should I set? They could have set up freaking professional. What about the whole phone like this? What should I do?
Ellie,
Hey,
where you at?
hold on. Okay, you can't see me. 1 second. Hold on.
I turn your mic on.
Okay, it's on. I might have to turn it off every now and then if the dogs like start barking and whatnot because they're loud.
Y'all, this is my baby Ellie Trenton, one of the baddest point guards to do it.
Hey, what's going on, Ellie?
Hey. Good. How are you?
Okay, that's our producer, Craig Moore. That's my partner, Skip. And that's the baddest hooper, female hooper in the game before you. Now that she hung him up.
You gotta do it right. The baddest dope girl.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. She should have been a King Crusader, but we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
Is
I'm looking for Kayla now.
I was about to say, yeah, is she coming?
I don't know.
My computer was messing up, so
So how's everything in Swanee?
it's okay. We have a new vice chancellor, so we have lots of new like rules and stuff we have to follow, like pertaining to COVID, I guess you would say. And like I said, like he did the whole thing with home games only and whatnot. So we're not really getting to play.
And that's what the AD did. The AD made that decision.
No, our vice. So we have like I go to a private liberal arts college. So like our vice chancellor gets the final say in like all of the decisions, and like they have like a board. I think it's called the Board of Regents that like helps the VC make the decisions. So it wasn't just our athletic director; it was mainly like the board and then the VC who have all the control.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everyone is playing in our conference except for us, basically.
How did y'all match up? Did y'all have a chance to win the conference or?
I mean, our conference is kind of like up in the air every year. There's a couple teams that are always like up there. They're always, like first through third. Like there's Oglethorpe, which they're really good. They're always really good. But I think this year we only have 2 seniors, and one of those is a transfer who is technically a junior, but she'll be graduating. So the team that we have now, we've been together for 3 years. So I mean, I think it would have genuinely been like a really good year for us.
How much?
Huh? Go ahead, Skip.
I'm about to say, how many games have you guys played so far?
Oh, we haven't played any.
Oh, you did just so. I thought it was only home games, or is it none at all?
So basically, our season was supposed to start after the new year. So like our first game, I think, would have been on the 15th. So they just like postponed our season for the entire conference. And we were waiting on like our final schedule to be released, and then the decision came out on, I think it was last week, about our conference. So all the other teams are playing like their regular schedule. So they'll play every team in the conference twice, one home, one away, and then they get to go to the tournament at the end of the season. But for our school, because nobody wanted to wear a mask when they played, other than our vice chancellor, they didn't want to like do that. So our vice chancellor said we can only have home games, and the teams that come to play us have to quarantine. They have to get tested for COVID, and they have to wear masks while they play. And then, so we would only get to play home games. So we wouldn't get to play everybody twice unless they wanted to come to our school twice, but that's not going to happen. And they would have to wear masks, but they don't have to wear masks when they play anyone else. So I just don't see people coming to play us for games that don't matter and don't count towards anything.
Not trying to be funny, but is your vice chancellor an athlete or was an athlete?
I think he was, but he played. I don't remember. He wasn't like a. I think he was a fencer. That's what he was. I think he was a fencer.
Oh, the swords?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, you think the other young lady don't join? Because my biggest thing, I know Reese just got off.
Yeah, let's just go with what we got, and if she I ain't heard from her, so something might have came up. Okay. But also, I wanted to, a lot of times female athletes don't get to see other female athletes who have done it on a high level.
Yeah, that's true.
If that makes sense, and in order to grow the game, I think knowledge like that and people to look up to and to get knowledge from is so important. And that was part of the reason for the link up. That's what we thought, because we'd like to see the women's game grow and get more publicity, if that makes sense. So Ellie, we wanted to introduce you to, like I said, one of the baddest to do it. I know you know who she is. University of Michigan, All-American.
Persian Go Girl, MVP. MVP.
Girl, go.
He's gonna keep throwing that up. But, yeah. And I will introduce to y'all, this is Ellie Trenton from Clarksville High in Tennessee. Now she is at Swanee, point guard that came on the radar, worked with myself and Coach Terry. She was always working with the guys to get better in her game. I mean, her game is leaps and bounds. I mean, she seriously is one of the best point guards to come out of that area. And I love her game. I've been a big fan of hers. So this is somebody that I wanted to have on the show to introduce to Reese,
I appreciate it, Vincent, for sure.
Oh, Ellie. Oh, you're on mute. So do you have any questions?
Well, I was just saying thanks for having me, first of all. I was just reading some of her basketball background. So did you transfer from the University of Michigan?
Yeah, so I actually enrolled at the University of Michigan. That was my first accepted offer. When I attended it in 2006, my freshman year, I did 3 years at the University of Michigan, and I decided to part ways with the school. And then I went on to Eastern Kentucky and I played an additional year. So yeah, I transferred to Eastern Kentucky and I had like 1 more year eligibility left to play.
He was in the conference with Austin P.
Austin P. I love them.
Didn't you have, weren't you considering there?
Before, yes, kind of.
Before the knee injury?
Yeah, I did like an unofficial visit, like toured with the old coaches. He's not there anymore. It was what was his name? His son played for Rossview.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I was thinking ideas of how we could grow the game. Skip, what do you feel? How do you feel we could grow the women's game?
Let me ask you this first before because I don't know if we want to just switch. Do you have any more questions for Reese?
Oh, we can just go ahead, and if like I think of something.
Oh, I thought they were gonna come in the flow. My fault. I thought that.
I don't know. This is our first time doing it, so I just wanted to make sure we ain't just jump from that to something else. So I apologize. My bad. But a way we can make the game grow, I think, getting women more sponsors, because I'm starting to see more of sponsorship with like overseas teams, and now the NBA is doing it. And we can get some of those big sponsors like Netflix or PayPal or somebody to start putting a little bit more money into the women's game to help it grow. I think that could happen, because I'll be honest with you, I think it's some women that can kick some of the men's tail in the NBA, you know, just on a serious note, like some of those guys who don't play, or I think some of these women like a Diana Taurasi or Lisa Leslie or even a Candace Parker or Maya Moore could probably fill one of those spots in the NBA because of their work ethic, and they get buckets.
Yeah, they get buckets.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't judge me, all right? And don't laugh at me. But I'm gonna date myself here. Rebecca Lobo. I used to have a crush on her.
That's what I'm saying, because Reese, I know you can vouch for this, but back in the day when we played at Reach, man, it was women shit. I mean, excuse my French, but it was like 5-on-5. Reese would be on our team, and then there might be 2 other girls on the other team. And at that point, Reese was on our team getting buckets against guys, everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Reese, is that what helped grow your game? You think? Was that experience?
Most definitely. Like, you know, playing against somebody that's stronger, faster. But I think ultimately what grew my game the most was those workouts, those individual workouts, working on my skill set, my shooting. And never felt I didn't have anybody in my corner to actually tell me I was good. So you walked in Reach, you wasn't good. I came home, I wasn't good. So I always had that urge, you know, that sense of urgency to get better because I wanted to be good. So I think a lot of all that came into play, but definitely going up the Reach, playing against the guys, you know, learning how to protect the ball, having to go a little extra harder to get to the basket, wanting to hold your own, especially if they let you play, you most definitely didn't want to go out there and stink the gym up. You know, that probably could have been your last time playing with the guys. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And most definitely, you play against some guys, your confidence going to go up, especially if you can hold your own. Then by the time you step on the floor with your equals, you got a little extra, you know, pizzazz in you a little more confidence.
I got a question too for you guys, since you said that, Reese. Do you think sometimes that hurts athletes when you're not telling them, hey, that was a good shot, or you are getting better, or you are getting good, because you never feel like you're good enough? You know,
right.
the same thing. No one ever told me you was good. I don't care if I was the #1 power forward in the state. You still ain't SHIT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, still ain't nothing.
Yeah. So does that help or does that hurt? Because I can see it on both sides. You gotta be mentally strong to be on the one side.
So I was about to say it's like an individual basis, and like as a coach or a mentor in the game, you got to be able to judge who those individuals are that you could get that tough love to, because I've seen it on the reverse end. I've seen someone be extremely good, right? And then they was told that they were good. They were told that they were great. 3-4 years later, they plateau out, and it's people that's getting better than them because, in their mind, they have made it. So it's definitely a thin line, right? Especially with the mental health and the confidence of our young youth. Our generation was just built a little different. So I don't think nobody even took into consideration it was gonna hurt our confidence. I think they was just like, and you won't get told that in this gym, around us. So keep you working, getting better.
So Skip, even though you went Division I, you still didn't think you were good?
I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably didn't know how good I was probably going into my junior year. I mean, of course, I knew I was good, but going into my junior year when I started seeing stuff differently, of course, being around Reese, being around Deshaun Sims, playing AAU with some of the top players in the country, I'm like, okay, I can ball with the best of them, or if I'm playing against Kevin Love, Mike Beasley, and I'm holding my own, you know what I'm saying? And
that's what I'm saying, because you play with so many NBA players. How could you not think you were good?
But it's still that fact that I always say this: if you keep hearing something repetitively, sometimes subconsciously, not consciously, but subconsciously, you might not think you're that good. You know what I'm saying? Or not even that good. I'm using the wrong word.
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Exactly.
You haven't made it. Like, yeah, you can play, but it's somebody somewhere that can outplay you. Like, so what you just did today, like me, absolutely nothing. So, I never thought I was good. I knew I could play, but I never thought that I was as good as I wanted to be. So I always had something to like work towards. But yeah, I've never got. I still don't know how good I was. People could tell me.
I find that hard to believe. I mean, you went Division I. You're All-American. Your camps. They're flying you all over the world, and you're thinking you're not good.
I mean, I know I can play, but in the same sense, I know I got these flaws in my game I need to get better at. I want to be better at this. I want to be able to develop this. I want this. I never was, I guess I was never complacent in my ability. I always wanted to do more, be more, perform better. I always looked at my turnovers. I looked at bad shots. I looked at, passes that I missed the opportunity, or maybe I was a little split second. So I will always look at the things I can improve on. I never really sat back and reflected too much on like some of my, accomplishments or what I did well in that game, which like Skip said, as a kid, you shouldn't be that hard on yourself, so that's a thing.
Isn't that what the grades do? I mean, but that's what sets you aside from everybody else. That's how the good get great. And that's what makes everybody else okay.
I teeter that line. The reason why I say that, because I've had conversations with OJ Mayo. I have had conversations with Bill Walker. I have had conversations with some of the elite players. They've been good since they've been 7 years old. They ain't been in the media. People been knowing who they is since they were 6 and 7 years old. So at that point, they've been told they've been good their whole life. So at that point, sometimes that was what got them over the hump. I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? I know, and the game is mental. So if I think I'm better than you, and I'm the player coming, first of all, you got to think, if I'm playing against the #1 power forward in my class, I'm already thinking like, oh, this is a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? What I got to do to stop him? In his mind, he's like, how am I going to destroy him? You know what I'm saying? So I got to stop him, but he's ready to destroy. He's figuring out how he's going to destroy me.
But see, I'm thinking that's the norm, because I mean, all right, so I told you I come from a basketball family. So I remember vividly hitting the winning shot as a freshman, everybody going crazy in the gym. And the first thing my father telling me is, you missed 4 wide open guys throughout the course. The game didn't have to be that close. You missed this pass, you missed that pass. I mean, you had a turnover here. He was like, we got to get better. And that's what made me, I always had that chip on my shoulder. When you walk in the gym, this is my gym. I'm going to show you that I'm the baddest cat in here. And I'm going to spend the next 40 minutes of this game showing you why you don't belong out here with me. Ain't that the attitude we're supposed to have?
Right. So I don't want you to mistake what I meant. Because when I walked in any gym, it could have been in Tennessee. It could be Florida. It was Portland. I never thought it was a guard that was better than me. I will always try to keep those scouting reports nearby because I wanted to make sure who was in front of me. So seeing them, we was gonna go at it, but I still never got to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm not going to the gym this week. I'm not.
So you stay hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 75% today. I'm not really feeling good. It was like we was like kind of groomed to like once you stepped in between them lines, like if you ain't about to pass out and throw up, and if you don't feel like you about to just
Die,
then you ain't going hard enough.
Nah.
You ain't going hard enough.
Okay, so Ellie, what's your work ethic look like? Because I know when I was around you, you were one of the hardest workers in the game. Have you become complacent, or are you still hungry?
I mean,
to be honest.
Or are you sharper? Because once you get older, you get sharper. You're just supposed to get sharper with the workouts. Instead of working out for 2 hours, you just go in there and get your stuff in that hour. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, in high school, I mean, I was always like wanting to do more, wanting to do better. I worked out with Coach T, Trenton Hassel a lot. He was my AAU coach, and we would always do workouts, and I'd work out with Carly, and she was older than me, and I was really grateful for that experience. And then after tearing my ACL, after that experience, not being able to play for a long time and missing my entire senior year and tearing my ACL at one of the biggest exposure tournaments there is in front of everyone, that was a pretty crazy experience. So after that, my freshman year of college, I would say I worked really, really hard to get back in shape, to get really strong, and try to get both of my legs at least the same size somewhat. That's not really easy. So I would say like my knee injury definitely made me work harder and made me want it more, because before that it was something that I got to do every day. Like it was always, well, to me it was always going to be there. I always had the option to like pick up a basketball and play a basketball game. But then tearing my ACL, I was like, well, now I don't have that option. So it was like kind of, I took it for granted before, but I don't now.
Which was another reason I wanted you on here, because if you don't know, Reese has been through, so I'm talking about adversity and you talking about coming through it strong. I mean, she's a role model. I'm for me and Skip, not to mention everybody else. I mean, you talk about adversity and facing it. You're talking to a champion right there. Reese did it better than most.
Ellie, I want to know mentally, being at that high level game and all that happening to you, mentally, how did you handle it? Mentally, what was some of the thoughts you were having, and just mentally, did you overcome it? Are you still scared, or what was your mind?
So, well, whenever I tore it, I was at Run for the Roses, and it was supposed to be like an 8-day long tournament, and I tore it the second day we were there, like our first game. And honestly, I put a knee brace. Well, I was already wearing a knee brace and I tore it with my brace on. And so I tried to play like a couple games later. I was in warm-ups and I was just like, there's just no way. Like I just couldn't do it. And then I stayed there with my team for like those 8 days. And mentally, I was really down because that really sucked to watch everyone play, because it would be the last tournament I'd ever play in. Like last AAU tournament ever, because I was a senior. I was going to be a senior. And then I went home and went to the doctor, and they walk in. And I honestly think that by that point, mentally, like I already knew what was happening, and I already kind of knew that I was done. And I think it was honestly harder on my parents than it was on me. So originally my doctor was like, it's only partially torn. And so I did therapy for 4 months in hopes that I would get to play my senior year. And so everything was going great. I was wearing my brace. I was practicing. I'd been going to therapy. I was playing, and then we were at a preseason tournament in Greenbrier, and coach put me in, and like within 30 seconds, I tore it again. So mentally that was tough because I like for 4 months I was like, okay, like I'm gonna get to play senior year, like it's gonna be great. And then I tore it again, and my only option at that point was surgery. Like I couldn't keep going because basically my ACL was shredded. So that was really tough and like heartbreaking. And throughout the season, like my mental health was okay. Like it was pretty stable. And then there were a few times like when we played Rossview, which were really important games and like the best games all year, the games you look forward to, and I would get really down. But I would say I'm not scared at all. Back to the question you actually asked, I'm not scared at all anymore. After I went through rehab, I played in my brace maybe one game, no, half of a game, and I've not touched it since. There was one game my sophomore year when I like partially tore my meniscus, and I put it on for a half, and I've never touched it. Like, and I don't ever have the fear that I'm gonna get hurt again. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You can't really play in fear of what could happen. You just have to enjoy the moment while you have it.
And it's crazy that you said it because Reese, when you said you was playing, you never did that, right?
What?
Stayed in the moment.
Oh no. Nope, never stayed in the moment.
That's the good thing that she's picking up early at an early age is that to stay in the moment.
Yeah, that's important because that's the enjoyment of it, being able to experience the moments, right? When you gotta like think back on it and you just reminiscing, you don't really get the same effect and the feeling that you should get while you experiencing those wins and those situations and those accomplishments and so on and so forth. So Allie, my advice to you is to continue to stay in the moment and continue to be fearless, because you're right. Now is all you have. If you think about the future and what can happen, you will limit yourself. And the goal is to go out and give it your all and, your potential to be the best it could possibly be considering whatever the situations are. So kudos to you. Continue to, strengthen that knee, stay strong. But yeah, I've seen ACL tears on women athletes, and it's hard. It's hard on women to come back from ACL tears. Seriously. So I know the work you put into it, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I've been really blessed to only tear one. I know typically a lot of people in general that tear one tear the other.
Yep.
But I shout out to my therapist because I love them and they were really great. And I've just been really blessed to not be hurt since.
Ellie, what year are you in college?
I'm a junior.
Okay, so Reese, as you being a junior, her being a junior, what are some more advice you can give to her from being playing on a high level and being in school?
My junior year, that was like a I don't say life changing, but that was like life opening, right? Eye opening, I would say, because now you are, you go from being a young teenage adult, and then now you're turning into your young adult years where, college graduation is coming. And my advice would be to just to start mentally preparing for that transition, out of sports and basketball and competition, and to start really like thinking towards, your professional career and how you can use the things that you learned, through sports and through competing, and you turn it over, which I think is really easy for athletes, right? So I wish I would have thought a little more ahead of my professional career as far as like after basketball, because junior year I was still thinking basketball overseas, whatever it was I can get to. But I wish I would have, took some time away from basketball and got into some more internships or, made those networking connections. So when I did transition, that it'll be a lot more smoother.
That's an interesting question. Ellie, have you thought about overseas or trying to play after this?
No. honestly, like I love basketball and I'm really grateful for it, but that's not something I like have really been interested in. Maybe if I would have went like bigger, like to a bigger school or like to a D1 school. But no, not really. And I mean, it's not because I don't want. It's not because like I couldn't or that I wouldn't work hard enough, or it's just I haven't really been interested in that.
So what would be next for you then? Are you going to coach? Are you trying to set yourself up for that for your dream job? What are your plans and what are your thoughts for the future?
So, um, I am pursuing a psychology degree right now. And my goal is to like join in criminal investigation, like on the solving side rather than the scientific side. So I want to do like the investigation, like, solve the murder, figure out their motives. So that's pretty much my intentions with that. I was just talking to um, Coach Turner last night about doing some internships and stuff like with the CIA or with the FBI or the TBI or just some police departments. So that's pretty much where I'm going. I don't think I'm going to go to grad school. Also, not something I would really want to do. I'm not really much of a school person. It's not my favorite thing. So I'm not sure I could do 4 more, but it's pretty much where I'm headed.
Well, if they pay for it, you should go.
Yeah, I should if they pay for it.
Coming off the last question I got for you, Ellie, and coming off that championship team, because they're not familiar with the high school that you went to, but you had 5 starters, and out of all 5 starters, 4 went Division I, and you went Division III. And you don't have you stayed in contact with any of the girls, and you don't want to pursue it anymore, huh?
Yeah, I've been in contact with them. Um, they only I went D3 and then Deja went D1, but that was it, right?
And then the class before you, all 5 went. No,
No,
all 4 went.
Yeah, well, JK went D1, and then Hannah didn't play basketball. Lainey didn't play basketball, and then Aaliyah went to a junior college, but now she's at Tusculum.
Okay.
It was like a couple years before me, when like Bashara and all of them,
Right.
they went.
So how many years have you guys won state?
Never.
Did you guys didn't win state? You just won the district every year.
We won districts. Well, we won regionals my junior year, which that was super fun. That was when we lost in the district championship game, and then we beat Rossview at the region tournament. So it was like an all Clarksville region tournament championship game. And then we went to state that year.
Before Reese goes, is there anything else you want to hit her with or ask her?
How did your experience as college athlete like change your or affect your view on life in general?
So I think my biggest takeaway was understanding the reality of working hard and putting your very best foot forward and still coming up short. Being able to structurally like organize your life as far as timing, prioritizing, having a full plate and still having to be responsible and held accountable. I think on a responsibility aspect of it, that part, and just understanding like that even though like the world isn't a sport, it still have the same values, and then it's like kind of like the same principles behind it. You compete, right? You put your best foot forward. You try to get, as far you can go, and within a company, you looking for different and better ways to maneuver and navigate your career the same way as basketball. You always looking for, ways to navigate. So I think that was my biggest takeaway, like just understanding that life is just like the game of basketball, right? You lose some, you win some, but you always come back to, fight a little harder, play a little harder, perform a little better, and not ever getting too down here. You lose your confidence.
Ellie, Reese, we appreciate you so much for coming on. Reese, I tremendously appreciate you because I know you just got off.
Oh, man. You owe me when you get to the city. That's all I'm saying.
I'll have your favorite alcohol beverage when I come to
Hey, Ellie, you better not know nothing about that.
Now she's a junior, she know about that too.
No,
I'm
she's an athlete.
not.
I still see her as that little girl around the gym, you know.
Yeah. But Ellie, it was really nice meeting you, and I wish you all the best of luck. Hopefully you get to play in some games, even if don't count for the season, because competing, lacing them up, getting out there with your teammates, they don't get no better than that, even during this pandemic. So good luck this year in school and basketball.
Thank you so much. It was really nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Okay, so Ellie, before you go, give your school a shout out. I know you get to keep this year eligibility, so you'll be a junior again next year. So where are you at and what you doing?
I'm at Sewanee, the University of the South. I'm a psychology major, economics minor. Shout out to Coach Braden and all my teammates.
Woo! No, I'm joking.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Hey, y'all watch the